Welcome to News 9 Live and you are watching On Point with me. Before I introduce you to today's On Point, on the Ministry of Home Affairs Manipur's Peace Meet, let's take a quick look at the headlines. Maharashtra Assembly polls on November 20th, two-phase polls in Jharkhand on November 13th and 20th, counting on November 23rd. Wayanad Lok Sabha polls to be held on November 13. Priyanka Gandhi is all set to contest the first election. Same old studio, same old things. India rejects Canadian Prime Minister's charges. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar arrives in Pakistan for the SCO meet. In the Arjikar rape and murder case, Supreme Court pulls up Bengal government on appointment of civic volunteers. Questions center on National Task Force. Opposition leaders write to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla alleging gross violation of rules during JPC meeting on Waqf bill. Mumbai police arrest two suspects on Bahraich and Baba Siddiqui murder case. India signs a deal with the United States to procure 31 Predator drones. Over 300 localities inundated in Chennai following heavy rains. Home Minister Amit Shah successfully brought together Kuki, Meitei and Naga MLAs for a peace meeting in Delhi on Tuesday. It was the first face-to-face meeting between legislators from all three communities since the outbreak of violence in May 2023. The joint meeting is a monumental step towards fostering dialogue and reconciliation. It is a big breakthrough in the Home Ministry's efforts to resolve the ongoing crisis in Manipur. The meeting was called by the Ministry of Home Affairs in an attempt to iron out differences between Meitei and Kuki communities and find an amicable solution to the ongoing conflict. The Meitei leaders who attended the meeting included the State Assembly Speaker T. Satyabrat Singh, T. Robindro, Basant Kuntam, Aya Singh, as per the PTI report. The Kuki legislators who attended the meeting included El Haukip and Kipgin, and both of them are also state ministers, the PTI reported. The Naga community was represented by MLAs Ram Moiva, A. Numai and L. Dikho. This too was reported by the PTI. Home Ministry's interlocutor A.K. Mishra and other senior officials were also present at the meeting. However, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh did not attend the meeting. The primary goal of the meeting was restoration of peace in the state. The legislators resolved to appeal to the people of the state to shun violence and take steps towards establishing peaceful environment in the state. However, no contentious issues were taken up in the meeting. It was more of an ice-breaking exercise. It is reported that the Kuki MLAs pressed for the demand of a union territory and for a separate administration. But the primary aim of the meeting was to get all the communities and their elected representatives, mind you, elected representatives, to speak to each other. It is expected that the issue of funding of the hills areas and other issues of representations will be discussed in the next meeting. On this issue, I am joined by P.K. Mishra, former IGBSF. I will be joined by T. Michael Lamjathang Haukip, spokesperson BJP. I will be joined by Bhupendra Meitei, spokesperson Congress. And I will be joined by Dr. Thangolal Haukip, Assistant Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance. In the studio with me, is Brijesh Pandey, input editor, News9 Live. Brijesh, this summary was released by Ministry of Home Affairs, and I have divided this discussion into 5 parts. So my question to you is getting them all on a table success or a failure?
It is a big success. And Karthikeya, like I said yesterday at the start of the program, that the biggest challenge for the government was to make sure that the two warring factions sit on a table, and I think the government has succeeded, because this is perhaps for the first time, as far as my knowledge is concerned, that they have been able to get the two sides sit. And also, as we predicted yesterday, that the discussion was more about how to restore peace in the state than to discuss contentious issues like separate administration or abrogation of SU agreement, or continuation with SU agreement and all. I think this was just to make sure that this is supposed to be one of the first of the many meetings that are supposed to take place in near future, and the main purpose is to ensure that law and order gets restored as far as Manipur is concerned. Because remember, Karthikeya, if there's continuous violence,
you are saying it's a success. So my second question is, will that change anything on the ground?
Not right now. It's too early to say that it will change anything on the ground, but it's a welcome first step.
It's a welcome first step. And when CSOs and militant groups are on both sides calling the shots and MLAs are under pressure, do you think that it will lead to a ground change?
Well, I think it's a very tough task. It's going to be a tough task for the MLA as well as the central government also, to ensure that what the MLAs discussed and what would be agreed upon, I would assume, is also reflected on the ground. And I think therein will lie the biggest challenge for the government, both state as well as the centre.
Okay, now let me straight away go to Mr. Tangulal Haukep. Mr. Haukep, my first question to you, it's divided in the whole discussion is divided into 5 basic parts. So the first part has got 3 points. One, sir, getting all the Kuki, Meitei and Naga MLAs, do you think it's a success or just tokenism? Mr. Haukep.
Let me reply very bluntly, Karthikeya, because we have to, talk about the truth. This kind of getting together is just, a PR kind of exercise. There's nothing, to talk about coming together and talking about peace, because you let the state divided, you let the hatred flow for more than 1 year and 5 months. So, do you have the moral authority? Let me ask the union government. After letting this mayhem happen for almost a year and a half, and talk about bringing about these MLAs, these sides together, this is not going to happen very easily. And I think a kind of a sincere dialogue needs to be started, rather than saying that the Kukis, Meiteis and Naga MLAs are coming together to talk about peace. Let's come to the reality that how much people are divided already in the last almost 1.5 years. That would be the starting point, rather than the central is successful in bringing them together. That's my first point. And
will it change anything on the ground, sir? There are 3 points. Will it change anything on the ground, sir? I asked you 3 questions.
Anything changed? No. There's nothing changed. There's nothing changed on this point, and we have to talk about the facts rather than doing this PR exercise in the media.
Okay. So the third question to you, Mr. Haukep, is that it is very evident that the militant group and the CSOs on both sides have called the shots. Now, keeping that in mind, elected representatives are under tremendous pressure from them. So do you think that balance of power will change with this conversation, or the balance of power will remain where it is?
Karthikeya, in the last 1.5 years, it's not only the insurgent groups as well as the MLAs who have come out. You would find that many civil society organizations during this time have become so powerful and influential in shaping the minds of people. So you have to take into account the very important element, that is the civil society organizations, the ITLF, the Kuki, Joe Council and others. They have to be taken into account. Otherwise, just talking to the MLAs or the insurgent groups will not do anything, because right now the people are with the civil society organizations. We have to understand that. it's not the, to a large extent, the insurgent groups or the MLAs, but the civil society organizations who are standing with the people during this time. So they have to brought to the, to the forum to talk about peace, or to talk about a lasting solution in this state.
Now, fair enough. Now, let me go to my other guests. I'm joined by Mr. P.K. Mishra. Mr. Mishra, same question. Do you think it's a success or a failure? And will it change anything on the ground? Your assessment, keeping in mind that the CSOs and militant groups have the ultimate say when it comes to building the narrative and influencing the civil society.
Yes, Kartika, I knew that the meeting will take place in the MHA's office in Khan Market today. And in fact, it's the first time that 20 MLAs, they participated in this discussion, 10 from Meitei groups and 4 from Naga groups. It's not Ramoibar, Naomi or Eldiko, one more MLA was there. And we had 6 Kuki MLAs who attended. This is the first thing. 6 Kuki MLAs have come forward to attend this meeting with Meitei group in the same roof in Khan Market area, in the MHA office in Khan Market area. It's not only Letpao Hakib or Nemchao Kipgen. 4 more they were there. It's a very good sign. First of all, you see, of course, before these Kuki MLAs, they came, there was a great pressure on them. I was keeping a track of this meeting, and I could come to know that there was strong pressure on SOSU, on Kuki MLAs to put forth their demand for a second UT or second administration in Kuki areas. But this meeting, I'm telling you, when it started with a very pleasant exchange of pleasantries from both the groups. And this was the first ice-breaking, I can tell you. I was listening to Mr. Hakib. Of course, I'm very sure, Kartika, I will tell that, of course, it will have no effect on the ground. Let it not will have any effect on the ground. But this particular meeting which started today, it was the first one we started, and MHA has told they are coming forward. I was listening to Mr. Hakib. They are going to hold a meeting with all civil society organizations of Manipur very soon, and this will start. Next meeting will be with the civil society organizations. I'm very sure that even there was pressure from both the sides. It's not only Kuki side, even Meitei sides also, and they were all dominated. There was a pressure, tremendous pressure on both the groups. What to be spoken, what not to be spoken. I was trying to contact Mr. A.K. Mishra, the interculator who was present in the meeting, and Mr. Sambit Patra, the coordinator. And both of them, I'll be speaking to both of them definitely.
So basically you're saying that this was an ice-breaking meeting. There were pleasantries that were exchanged. This meeting took place in the building which is next to Khan Market.
A lot of pleasantries were exchanged, and they were very happy both the sides.
Okay, wait for your turn. Wait for your turn. Let me introduce. Let me introduce Lamchathang Haukep and Bhupend Meitei. Lamchathang Haukep is spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, and Mr. Bhupend Meitei is spokesperson Congress Party. A very warm welcome to both the guests on my show, On Point. So, Mr. Haukep, first to you. What is the sense you are getting from the meeting? Is it a success or plain tokenism?
Particularly, the meeting itself is a sign of a huge success that nobody expected such type of official meeting would have happened between the conflicting parties. That also in the presence of the neutral Naga group. There was an ice breaking, and this is the first initiative taken by the government of India to outline a framework to work out the differences between the two communities. So it will be too early to judge and to predict that whether it will be a success or a failure. But in fact, this is the initiative itself is a huge success, I should call it, because coming together is the beginning. And moreover, this will have a very good impact on the ground, especially on the fringe areas where both the communities should have a kind of, it will emotional feeling that finally after 17, 18 months of conflict, that leaders, the legitimate leaders, the elected representatives have from both the communities have met together, and this speaks a lot of volume, and this is a very good step to bridge the gap between the hostility and the lost trust, to bridge the gap and to bring back the lost trust between the two communities.
Mr. Lamchathang, my question is very simple. You belong to a political party. Mr. Bhupen belonged to a political party. Manipur violence had led to the erosion of the strength of the elected members of the parliament or the elected members of the assembly. Their functions have been taken over by the CSOs in context of narrative settings when it comes to political issues. Do you think that this meeting restores elected representatives as the center of peace process?
Absolutely, absolutely. Today's meeting legitimized the value of the elected representative who represents their own constituent group from this respective of any communities. This reflects that there still lies the legitimacy of the elected leaders, because since the political demand made by the Kuki groups also doesn't mean that they have withdrawn themselves from the government, from their constituent. So this truly reflects that they are legitimate and a pressure has been given, and none of the CSOs, including the Kuki militants, SOO group, doesn't make any objection or raise any objection into this peace meeting. So I think it still prevails.
Okay, ठीक है. Now let me go across to Mr. Bhupen Meitei, spokesperson of the Congress party. Bhupen, from the outside, as a principal opposition party spokesperson, how do you evaluate this meeting?
Well, first, they have not invited the opposition Congress MLAs in Manipur. When the first meeting of all political parties was convened by the Union Home Minister Shri Amit Shah last year in New Delhi, the Congress party was represented by our former Chief Minister, the present CLP leader, Shri O. Ibobi Singh. And he was the lone person who actually was from Manipur. So our national president gave an opportunity to Mr. Ibobi to represent the party there in a meeting which was convened by the Union Home Minister. But today, we come to learn that there was no Union Home Minister. He was not present in the meeting today, including the NPP MLAs, including their ruling coalition partners MLAs are not invited, though they belong to the Meitei community. But we are not here to distinguish MLAs on the lines of the ethnic communities. This is a high time that the government of India and the Prime Minister's office must come into. There was a meeting called today. We were not invited. Their own ruling coalition partners were not invited. We were not informed. We suddenly come to know yesterday itself. And today we also come to know that the Union Home Minister was not there. Then who convened the meeting today? Who was chairing the meeting today? And what is the outcome of the meeting today? Just now, an hour ago, there's a PIB press release by the Minister of Home Affairs. It just says that a group of elected members of Manipur Assembly representing so-and-so communities met in New Delhi today to discuss on the current scenario in the state. And the meeting unanimously resolved to appeal to the people of the state belonging to all communities to shun the path of violence so that no more precious lives of innocent citizens are lost. But the point is, what is the roadmap of the government of India? Why is the Prime Minister's office silent? Why has the Prime Minister not yet come here in Manipur for more than almost, it's going to be 2 years. Even if the Prime Minister is not free, then at least he can send his Principal Secretary to Prime Minister. Even the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister also hasn't come. I myself, along with my own MPCC President, Sri K. Megasan, we have gone to the Prime Minister's office recently, more than a fortnight ago, to invite him through a writing in the form of a written invitation, inviting the Prime Minister to kindly visit Manipur. He hasn't done so. So this is a high time that the center has really come into, and today it is extremely unfortunate. We were expecting that the outcome of the meeting will do something very momentous and something very substantial to bring normalcy in the state. But rather than that, we come to know that there was no union home minister. There was no union home minister of state. There was no minister of external affairs. There was no one. There was no defense minister. So then what? I mean, what was the meeting for?
That's your point. That's your point. You're saying that the political representative was not there. My second question to you is there. That's your point. The other panelists can agree, disagree on it. My point is, do you think that this should have been an all-party affair?
Yes, not only all party affairs. We have been requesting the Prime Minister that in the year of 2001 on June 18, the then Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji invited all political parties of Manipur to be in New Delhi. That was the Prime Minister that we had, though he was the BJP Prime Minister. Now we have the BJP Prime Minister who has been elected thrice as the Prime Minister in a country. We have the Chief Minister who is again from the BJP. How come that the Prime Minister has chosen not to call all political parties from the state, from our Manipur? We are also not even saying only for mere political parties. We are saying you call all the CSOs, you call women folk leaders, different organizational leaders, different religious leaders. You call every stakeholder from the state, because this is an unprecedented turmoil which has happened in the state and also in a country in the history of modern India.
Okay, now let me go across to Brijesh. Brijesh covers Bharatiya Janata Party. Brijesh, tell me, Bhupendra is saying that perhaps this letter of invitation should have gone to all legislators.
Well, I think,
I don't know whether it has gone to all legislators or not. I'm not aware of that dynamic.
There is no clarity on that, Kartike. But I would say that as there's a saying in Hindi that दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक के पीता है, फूक के पीता है. So I think when the Home Minister came to visited Manipur and said that he'll be coming back in 15 days and met all the CSOs and all the concerned parties and said that the first challenge is to make sure that the violence goes away. It didn't happen, and there was a lot of embarrassment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The MHA has been trying to get the relevant stakeholders in one particular room, and I think today's meeting is important because they have been able to do something which they've been trying to do for the last 16, 17 months, and they have now been able to. I think this is just the first of the many meetings. As I said yesterday as well, this is the first of the many meetings which will take place, because this is just an icebreaker. This is just a get to know, or let's sit in one particular room, because if you feel that this particular meeting will just simply wish away the violence which is plaguing the state, or the contentious issues like abrogation of this Sioux agreement, or various demands by both ethnicities, all this will be done. I think it's then we will be living in a fool's paradise. I think this is just a start, a welcome start, but a lot more needs to be done. I think there is going to be a political engagement. I don't think that MHA is going to play partisan politics right now as far as state of Manipur is concerned.
Now let me go across to Mr. Haukip. The second part is, Mr. Haukip, do you think that the contentious issues like Sioux agreement, de-weaponization, NRC, illegal immigration, which are described as the core issues, can be dealt together? Or do you think that we have to be dealt together simultaneously on multiple fronts? Can they be dealt in one go, or should they be dealt one by one?
Let me put it this way. Manipur problem has a long past the issue of law and order to a political crisis. Like the demand has become political, the crisis or the conflict has become political. So it has shifted from a law and order situation to a political conflict. So it has to be dealt in a political manner rather than looking into the law and order issue, because that phase has long passed in May, June last year. So we have to deal this issue politically, and after this kind of political negotiations with them, then the issues of all other issues like illegal immigration and others can be dealt within that administrative setup. So you have to look into the political issues rather than discuss the so-called ground rules of the SO agreement or this and that, because you cannot push the law hard on one community and let the other free. we have been talking about this kind of uneven low application into the state. So we have to take into this kind of unequal application of law in the hills and the valley. We have been demanding that has to be applied in Imphal Valley also, so as to bring about law and order quickly. That has not been dealt by the Home Ministry, and till now I don't believe that AFSPA is the solution, because that demand has long gone. Because we are not concerned with the law and order situation in other parts. We are concerned about the political demand that we have put up to the Home Ministry. So I'm talking, the pulse of the people rather than myself. So that's it. And even in today's talk, for instance, if you look into the popular support of the Kuki people, you find that MLAs like Pauline Lal could have been one of the members in that talk, but that did not happen, unfortunately. And this Pauline Lal has been backed by the people throughout all these conflicts, and without his presence, any kind of dialogue is not going anywhere. So we have to be aware about that. And few months back, I think he also has stated very clearly that he will not come to New Delhi anymore. New Delhi has to come to Churachandpur to discuss about what is and what should be the political solution or the political roadmap. So that is very clear, and that has not been heard by the Home Ministry, and that negligence or not understanding such kind
that's
of
okay. That's a position.
Not,
I think
anywhere.
I think someone yesterday, I think Mr. Mishra was saying that next time the meeting should be organized in Churachandpur. Okay. But if you look at the approach of Prime Minister Modi, he has been taking out these meetings. I remember in 2014 there was a very important police meeting. He got it organized in Guwahati outside Delhi's Vigyan Bhavan. So maybe I know in what context you are talking, Mr. Mishra. Coming straight to you. Can there be any middle points on SU agreement, complete deweaponization, NRC, illegal immigration? I mean, sir, can the vertical positions bend on these issues?
Yes, Karthika, I have asked a very good question. Of course, it is today's meeting was ice-breaking, but what you are asking now about the SU and about this drugs coming and the law and order problem, NRA problem, these things definitely has to be discussed. And of course, the first meeting definitely MHA is holding with civil society organizations. But I was listening to Mr. Hakib. There is nothing wrong in requesting all the Kuki MLAs to come for a dialogue at Churachandpur. I stand for that. And of course, today's meeting, it was, I am totally agree with you, it was icebreak and a very good present exchange of dialogues were there between the Kuki MLAs and the Meitei MLAs. That was the first thing they have done in one group. It started today. Of course, Mr. Samit Patra was chairing it with the coordinator of looking after Manipur. And your question is definitely
very simple.
correct.
See, my question is very simple. My question is very simple. Ultimately, the government will have to come on the substantive issues. They cannot be. You cannot skirt around it. These issues have been there for 1.5 years.
1.5 years has passed, and they have to look into these points about this. What about the separate administration? What about the second thing? What about the SU also? And what about the NRI problem? And the people coming from Myanmar, illegal immigrants, and again the law and order problem. They have to be discussed. It is, in fact, we have lost 18 months. We should not lose more.
Okay.
And I hope the meeting has to be done now at Imphal.
Okay.
And next at
okay. Let me take this question because this is divided into 4 parts. Let me take this to my other guest, Michael. Under the nicety, these tough issues cannot be skirted around. These tough issues cannot be skirted around, which is deweaponization, SU agreement, consensus on NRC, consensus on fencing, poppy cultivation. Unless until these core issues are reconciled, you can continue to meet over a cup of coffee, you can have a release, but then nothing will change on the ground. Because people have taken position on these issues, hardened positions.
Kartike, first of all, I want to remind you that there is no such political crisis in Manipur because all the MLAs are intact and there is no such political problem. Second is the political demand made by the concerned persons. The MHA will deal with the concerned their respective people whom they have been dealing quite for prior to the conflict. The present conflict is more of ethnic conflict, and putting in another political solution and expecting too much with such sort of political agenda will not yield anything in this crisis. This I want to make it very clear to all the viewers, and I appeal to the people of Manipur. Secondly, yes, the core issues. There are many contentious issues that has to be resolved, and most importantly, many of the administrative decisions taken by the Biren Singh-led BJP government are
Spokesperson, you are the BJP spokesperson. Let me ask you, sir, what is the core issue of Manipur violence? Let me ask you, what is the core issue? आप बताइए मुझे core issue क्या है?
The core issue is the Kuki communities have grievances or protested against the various administrative decisions taken by the Biren Singh-led BJP government. Suppose like the eviction of illegal occupants in the reserve and protected forests, and also the taking up of war against drugs. And there are many core issues that has to be dealt by the government, and those are the things that the Kuki people have their own grievances and protested, and there are a lot more things that their elected representative have to do, which the present chief minister alone or the BJP government alone cannot take forward. So those are the issues that we need to deal as a citizen of Manipur. So those issues, of course, will be dealt. But for now, we need to create a conducive atmosphere. We need to deal with the law and order problem first. Other than that, the people needs to have a talking space first. Other than that,
space first. No, let me. Okay, talking space. You are saying these are the core issues. Bhupendra, Mr. Bhupen, what do you think are what is the core issue? Because ultimately you will have to come back to the core issue. What is the core issue?
Whose vocabulary is this, the core issue? The entire state has been in turmoil. It's going to be 2 years. The government of India has set up their own the commission of inquiry. The commission of inquiry report hasn't come. Now it's going to be almost 1 year. If we are talking about the core issue, for us, the core issue is to bring back what Manipur was before 2017. This BJP has been in power in Manipur since 2017. Prime Minister Modi has become Prime Minister since 2014. We want to see our Manipur back, which was there before 2017. Whatever has happened in Manipur, it's almost like going back. So if we are talking about the core issue, when will we ever talk about that I being an ordinary citizen, when can I go, when can I move freely throughout the territory of my own state? Okay, you leave about me. When will the chief minister, when will be the council of ministers? When can the ruling MLAs can move around freely in any districts here in the state? So that's the point. But besides that, today, the entire world, the entire national media, even the entire media is talking about that there was a successful meeting. But if you read between the lines of what is there in the PIB press release today, it clearly mentions that they just had a meeting, that these MLAs came and they met together in New Delhi. Where they have met, it's also not mentioned there. Who convened the meeting is also not mentioned there. Any officials of the home ministries who were present there, those names, those officials are also not present, mentioned here. So it appears, it is very clear from the writing here of the PIB press release that these MLAs, they just came and they met in Delhi to discuss on the current scenario. And what was the role of the BJP MLAs? There were were there no officials from the Ministry of Home Affairs? If they were so, then their names, at least their official positions, their designations should have been mentioned here in the PIB press release. Because this PIB press release will become a record 20 years down the line, 50 years down the line. So if I see this PIB press release today, after 50 years, let's say in 2050, what will the people in 2050 think of this press release? That they just came and they came from different parts of the country and they met together, sat somewhere in New Delhi, and they had a meeting, and after almost 1.5 years gone, they appeal to send a part of violence. Rahul Gandhi ji has come thrice here in the state of Manipur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has chosen not to visit Manipur. If the government of India really wants to bring peace and normalcy here in the state, at least they should at least have an audacity to listen to Rahul Gandhi's appeal. And his simple appeal is, let the Prime Minister visit here in Manipur and meet the people of Manipur. When will he come here in Imphal? Or when will he go anywhere here in Manipur? We would like to know. He hasn't come in 2024 Lok Sabha election.
Okay.
I don't
Bhupen, let me ask you, Bhupen, let me ask you a pointed question. Let me ask you a pointed question, because then I'll go to Mr. Lamjathang. What is your party's position on 6th schedule? Do you think that there can be a compromise on 6th schedule? मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ.
No. The 6th schedule is a very sensitive issue. We can't hold a mere discussion just like that. That question you have to raise. You have to ask to the BJP Chief Minister and the BJP Prime Minister, what is the status of the Meitei scheduled tribe demand? What has happened to that? When will the BJP Chief Minister recommend that? When will the Prime Minister, BJP Prime Minister bring up that issue? It was Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh who gave 40 minutes to the delegation of Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee for Meitei, for Manipur, way back in 2011 and 12. That's the whole point. So the entire issue cannot be discussed in a mere peaceful manner. Manipur is a small state. The territorial, the political, the administrative, financial integrity of the state should be there as it is. That is why our MLA.
Okay, you have made your point. I want Michael Lamjathang to respond to it. Okay, your point taken. Mr. Lamjathang, I would like you to respond to the points that Bhupendra has raised.
Kartike, first of all, I want to maximum as much as possible, don't want to politicize this present ethnic conflict violence. Despite my party affiliation, I always wanted to contribute in such a way that my words or my comments should be more of advocating peace. So if we are to blame based on Congress or BJP, it can escalate, and I have many things to bring up. But what I would like to tell the Congress fellow in Manipur is that the present conflict started because...
Michael, as you are in Delhi, Bhupendra is also in Delhi. Both of you are in Delhi.
Yeah. I'll come to you.
I'll give you a chance. Both of you are in Delhi.
Yeah, Kartike. So I will not comment on that. So my point here is, I want to highlight that this conflict is designed by the Congress party. But I may be blunt to that, but this will only aggravate the situation. I have many points of justification which I will not come up in the show. Now today, the position of the BJP over here is, in regards to the 6th schedule, was during 2001 to 2003, the then Deputy Prime Minister L.K. Advani ji has wrote to the state government, and even in 2014-15, the then Union Home Minister have written to the state government to ask, call for a report about the implementation of 6th schedule in the existing autonomous district council. So the state government has come up with a kind of local adjustment. At that time, it was the Congress government in Manipur. So they are yet to furnish this local adjustment. That is the position of 6th schedule at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. Second, regarding the scheduled tribe, the position of the current BJP government is also very clear. Despite the High Court ruling, the feeling, the sentiment of the other Naga and the other hills tribes are totally opposed to this. So why can't the Congress have done, who gave the Prime Minister, who gave 40 minutes of audience to the Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee, if he really understands, why can't he do that? They have been holding the government for more than 10 years. So I don't want to throw each other based on political line, but my intention here is the issues, whatever comes up in Manipur, needs to have a kind of concrete understanding. A holistic discussion has to be done among the legislators, because they are the one who have to decide. And yes, we need a talking space. So the present government have done a lot. The Chief Minister and Biren Singh has done a lot. But now, when the situation gets worse, they are trying to bring up all those issues and put the blame to the present government or the particular leader only. No, that's totally false, because the present conflict started because of mob violence. And after this mob violence, it split to ethnic conflict, and then it has now into armed conflict between the two communities. So first of all, we need talking space, and for that, disarmament is a must. And today, the Home Ministry have initiated a talks, and that talks, we don't, because of the sensitivity of the issues, they have been not revealing who chaired it or who all are present. So what is the harm in that? They have met and it sent a message. The intention is more important than the venue. So the intention of the Home Ministry is very clear, that they made the two conflicting communities sit together in the presence of the other communities. Manipur is for all of us. So when all the communities, the Nagas and the other hills tribes, Kukis and the Mar and the Zomis and the Meitei, when they sit together, what is the harm in that? So that coming together is the beginning, and questioning the venue or questioning whether the Prime Minister or the Home Minister is not there will not make any sense, because ultimately the people in the state have to live together. It is not the Prime Minister or the Home Minister who are going to come and settle here. The understanding between the communities who are living in Manipur is more important, and today the Home Ministry have made a huge success. I congratulate all the stakeholders who put all efforts in bringing together all the legislators in Delhi. So this much I can say.
Okay, let Bhupen respond. You stay with me, Michael.
Well, my BJP friend has self-contradicted himself by saying that the entire violence was appeared to have been created by Congress because of the past hits of the previous Congress government. And later on again, he also stated that because of more violence, the entire episode has begun. But I don't wish to go into that. So what was the cause of this turmoil since 3rd of May last year? That let the report of Commission of Inquiry say so. If the Commission of Inquiry report says that it was because of the previous Congress governments or the previous governments in 1972, since Manipur has become statehood, then I'm fine with that. Let the report come first. Why is the Union Home Minister, why is the Union Government of India so reluctant in ensuring the finalization of the inquiry report? That is number one. Number two, well, High Court has never stated that any community or any sort of ethnic community cannot go and press for their own demand for scheduled tribe. There has been no ruling. That is why effectively the Supreme Court has said that if for listing or delisting of any community in the scheduled tribe list or not, that has to be done by the executive. The court has no role there. There is a constitutional judgment on that. And thirdly, the Congress has empowered the autonomous district councils, the district councils. But what has happened in the BJP government? There has been no elections to ADC. It is our own Congress party. We have been pressing that there should be an election for ADC, for district councils in the hills. There should be election for panchayats, for nagar panchayats, for municipalities. This present BJP government has destroyed the lower portion, the democracy, particularly in our villages, in our hills, in our local bodies. And whose creation is this? Who has destroyed this? Despite the assurance given by their own Advocate General in Honorable High Court, they have failed to conduct elections for ADCs. And now, who has caused this issue? Let's talk about the turmoil. What was the statement given by Union Home Minister on the floor of the House in the Lok Sabha with regard to this was concerned last year? Everybody knows that. And what was the submissions given by the Solicitor General of India in the Supreme Court? We all know that. And what has the Supreme Court Chief Justice has said regarding the law and order issue here in Manipur? It's all on record. Therefore, has the Solicitor General of India in the Supreme Court submitted that this is all because of the previous Congress government? No. Has the Union Home Minister ever stated that this is all because of the previous Congress government? No. Has anybody stated that? No. So the point remains is, let's talk about the reality. The reality is Congress believes in honestly bringing normalcy, tranquility in the state. That is a message from our Shri Rahul Gandhi ji. That is why he has visited the state thrice. We pray, we wish, when will our Prime Minister come here? Prime Minister visited Laos for...
I think you touched an issue which is very close to my heart. And I would like, Michael, you to respond to it. When he is making the charge of elections to the local bodies, I want you to respond to it. Is it correct what Mr. Bhupendra has said? Election, local body.
Yes.
Is it correct what
Yes,
Bhupen said?
Yes. Yes. Autonomous, just before Manipur got hard independence in 1972, the Central Parliament Act has enacted to give 6 autonomous district council in the hill areas of Manipur. Thus, Manipur got hard independence and statehood was declared. So accordingly, election was held periodically, and yes, he is true in such a way that from 1989 to 2010, for almost about 21 years, election of the Autonomous District Council was not held. So it was held again in 2010. So the tenure gets in 2015, and it was again, election was held in 2015. And in 2020, I was expired. So in between, there was creation of another 6 districts. 7 new districts in 2016. So the present BJP government wants to empower the hill areas and took a decision to to expand the existing 6 ADC into 10 ADC. That makes the delimitation process, and because of the COVID and because of some other administrative reason, it pushed up till 2023. It got delayed by 3 years. These are all because of legitimate reasons. So there is no much issue in that. His position about the hills peoples are demanding 6th schedule, and when the central government, the BJP government in the central also wants the status report, why can't the Congress respond into it? They have come up with local adjustment. They have buried, and then they could have given scheduled tribe. They have not done anything. The present government's position on scheduled tribe is also very clear. This needs consultation of the Nagas and the other hills tribes. You can't do it unanimous with unitary decision. So I think let us not come up with all this kind of blame. This is not the right platform. But what is the role and the roadmap of the Congress government, of the Congress party in Manipur, other than criticizing and holding a press conference and always countering and putting us looking for the loopholes? This will not make or improve the present law and order situation. If you really love Manipur, and if we want to restore back normalcy, we all need to put our heads together. And yes, we have 2 MPs from Manipur. Let them also cooperate and contribute something for the welfare, not only instead of blaming the BJP for creating all this messy. Yes, the primacy is very, very clear that there are lots of administrative decisions which the Kuki groups are not happy. So that those can be settled, and that has led to the spark of the violence. Yes, in fact, until and unless the committee of inquiry report has come up, there can be many other issues that also contributes to the frustration of both the Kukis and the Meiteis, that leads to barbaric kind of violence and fighting. So I think my request to my colleague Bhupender is, let the Congress party in Manipur, who have a very vast experience of administrative knowledge, also contribute and give suggestion and try to do something instead of backbiting or instead of cursing the BJP. This is my request to him.
No, he has a point.
And
There
one
should
thing,
be
one thing, Kartikeya, one thing, please, 1 minute. So the present conflict is Kuki and Meitei. So in Manipur, in the last 30 years, if you look back communal violence, this is not the first instance. Kuki Zomi was there in 97, Kuki Naga was there in 92, 93. So Kuki is always there. So who are these Kuki? You see, Manipur has 34 tribes. If you look into these 34 tribes, in 2003, there is a tribe called Any Kuki tribes that was inserted by the Congress government. At that time, the Thado INPI, the Thado National Council says, no, this Any Kuki will give a chance to illegal immigration from neighboring states. So Any Kuki is not required because this is only a duplicate.
Okay, I want Bhupen to respond.
The Congress have come up
Let
with
Bhupen respond,
recognize it and let the Congress identify who are these cookies.
Okay, let Bhupen respond. Mr. Bhupen,
Who are cookies? Because they have duplicate. So
Bhupen, respond quickly to this.
Respond quickly
to
Who are
this.
these cookies?
Yes, my friends, my good friends, political party is in power since 2014. In 2014 in Guwahati, the then Prime Ministerial candidate Mr. Modi was talking about detecting and deporting the illegal Bangladeshis. How many illegal Bangladeshis has the Prime Minister and his government deported so far since 2014? And this present BJP government has been here in the state in power in the state since 2017. It's more than 7 years. They could have done so many things which they're now blaming. They can't keep blaming the Congress government. If they want to list something, if they want to delist something, or if they want to change the nomenclature, they are in power. They are with the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And what is stopping them from going ahead in delisting any Kuki tribes from the list? In fact, one organization is going to Supreme Court to remove that. Now, there is one community called Meitei Tribe Union. It is reported that they are now going to Supreme Court, going to Supreme Court to delist.
So respond to what Michael has said. You respond to what he has said.
Once again. I just want to know. I wish to see that what will be the response, what will be the reply of the state of Manipur in the form of affidavit in Supreme Court. Will the state of Manipur, which is likely to be represented by Advocate General or the Union of India, are they going to say that we are going to delist any Kuki tribes from the ST list in the Supreme Court? If this matter comes up in the Supreme Court, we are yet to see that. So let's keep that for future. And let's not, we are in opposition. Our role is to ensure that we have to bring out the issues. We are not in the government. Had Rahul Gandhi been the Prime Minister, this would not have taken place. Had there been a Congress Chief Minister, this would not have taken place.
Okay, wait a minute. I just need to take one quick comment from Mr. Hauke. Wait a minute. One quick comment from Mr. Hauke. Mr. Hauke, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Hauke, I'm really falling short of time. Do you think it's possible to organize a sort of a meeting in Manipur of all the MLAs? Do you think it's a possibility? I know it's a short answer I want from you. Do you think it's possible, sir? You're an academic.
No, before I answer that question, let me, for my inputs, the input that I got about today's meeting, let me break our initial excitement that the Kukis, Nagas and Meiteis, the MLAs meet in New Delhi. I think that is wrong. The Minister of Home Affairs meet the Kuki MLAs first, and then later on, the meeting was organized with the Meitei and Naga MLAs. So that's what I got from some sources.
Got to meet the Home Minister. Basically, you are saying they got to meet the Home Minister.
And I don't think that
Mr. Hauke, you are saying they got to meet the minister? They met the minister?
I don't know. I don't think that the Home Minister is taking this issue seriously, because till now the Home Minister or the Junior Home Minister has not met any of the civil society organizations or MLAs from
Fair enough. One point I would...
There's a kind of seriousness that the Home Ministry is taking on Manipur issue. They are taking this lightly.
I asked you a different question. I'll come to it. There's a finiteness of time. There's a finiteness of time. Only thing I would like to say, can we play that whole plate, the release of the ministry? I think I would like to stick to it. Can we play the whole plate, the release of the Ministry of Home Affairs? I think I would like to read this to everyone. MHA statement of Manipur Peace Meet, that they have been able to get all of them together. As the host of this show, I would say it is a success to get all of them. There are parts of the story which the media doesn't know, whether they have met him, whether they have met them before, whether they have spoken to it. I would not like to speculate on that, on who have met whom. No, I would, as the host of the show, only say that I am very happy that all three of them were on board, and I would expect substantive issues to be dealt in subsequent meetings. And I would also expect that if this meeting can be taken to Manipur, that would be fantastic. But yes, if the meeting has taken place in this format, where all groups are there, I would say it's a good beginning. Isn't that, Brijesh?
Well, absolutely. So it's a fantastic beginning, and I think this is one of the first meetings, first of the several meetings which we are going to witness in the coming time.
I think it's a good start, and a good start, I would say, is a portent of good things.